In this picture is Paul Rudd, seen as a Ghostbuster. Now, on today's House of Takes NBA show, we are going to talk about another one of Paul Rudd's famous characters, of course, the Ant-Man. And we are going to talk about the rising, scary superstar that is one Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves. That is today's topic on the House of Takes NBA show. All right, if you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, we are a small channel hoping to be big someday. Please go ahead and like and, of course, subscribe to the channel when you have a chance. As for Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves at this point, the Timberwolves played earlier in the day and took down the Cleveland Cavaliers in beautiful downtown Minnesota at the Target Center. 104-91 was the final of that particular game. That leaves the T-Wolves, or keeps the T-Wolves, a game and a half behind the Oklahoma City Thunder, which, of course, is the other major surprise of this particular NBA season. I mean, who had OKC, Denver, and Minnesota as your top three teams in the Western Conference with like 15 games to go? The answer to that question is absolutely nobody had those three teams in that particular order with about 15 games to go in the Western Conference. And it's not as if the Denver Nuggets haven't been playing good basketball. They have. In fact, they're eight wins out of their last 10 games played for the Denver Nuggets. OKC has won 8 out of 10 as well. And the T-Wolves have had a rougher sort of go at it, certainly because of a lot of injuries. Now, Anthony Edwards has been absolutely spectacular on both sides of the court. We all saw that incredible game-winning block shot he had a couple weeks ago. And then we saw the incredible dunk that he had earlier in the week, which, of course, led everybody to start talking about Anthony Edwards as a potential face of the NBA as we move forward. Now, Anthony Edwards being a face of the NBA is certainly something that could happen. If you look at what Michael Jordan did during the first 4 or 5 years of his career, he really wasn't really the face of the NBA until he started winning titles. I'm not saying Anthony Edwards is going to be like Mike, but Anthony Edwards certainly has a lot of charisma. Not as much charisma as Michael Jordan had, but he certainly has a fair share, and his game certainly at times, and I'm not saying that it looks exactly like Michael Jordan's game, because it doesn't, but at times there are flashes of what you would see a Michael Jordan do, what you would see a Dominique Wilkins do, what you would see a Vince Carter do, especially when it comes to dunking the basketball. Now, Anthony Edwards is really a superstar on the rise. If you look at his career stats, and if we were to go take a look at his career stats, he has now been in the league for 4 years. He started out averaging 19 points a game. In year 2, he got it up to 21. Year 3, just under 25. And this year is going to finish probably just under or at 27 points a game. But it's not just about the points with Anthony Edwards. As somebody that has seen basically every single Anthony Edwards game so far this particular season, I can tell you that tonight's game against the Cleveland Cavaliers was certainly a strong reflection of how Anthony Edwards actually plays his basketball. It is not always about him scoring 30 points a night, especially with Karl Anthony Towns out. In tonight's game, Anthony Edwards only scored 16. He was 6 for 17 from the field. He had 13 rebounds. That's right. Anthony Edwards had 13 rebounds against the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, and, of course, 5 assists. look, at the end of the day, Anthony Edwards is one of these young sort of superstars that is actually really good at reading the game, because every game is different. And Anthony Edwards is a bit of a chameleon. If his shot isn't there, he's certainly willing to do other things on the court. Now, will Anthony Edwards ultimately become the really big face of the National Basketball Association when LeBron and Steph Curry ride off into the sunset? And I suspect he'll be one of the people. I don't think we're going to see Anthony Edwards take that LeBron James style leap, or that Michael Jordan style leap, or even that Steph Curry style leap. I think he's going to be a tier or two below that, but that's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. Anthony Edwards right now, pound for pound, is one of the most exciting basketball players in the association today. All right, North America, tell me what you think. I want to hear from you. That is it for today's House of Takes NBA show. As always, I'm Dave DeBaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day.
You've been listening to the House of Takes NBA show with Dave Daba, presented by Stealth.ltd.